Hello and welcome to Go Ballistic, the Scottish Sun Euro 2024 podcast. I'm Roger Hanna. With me today, my colleague David Friel. You'll be hearing from our football editor Derek McGregor, who's with the Germans at their training base this morning. You'll also hear from the voice of Sunsport, Bill Leckie, who's with Scotland in Garmisch-Partenkirchen. David, we're down to the last 48, 60 hours before the game. Is the excitement beginning to build?
I think it's building now, Roger. It feels as if we've waited a lifetime for this. I think it was October, Scotland qualified for the Euros, and it just seems as if this has been, we've just been waiting. It's all been building to this. It feels real now. Obviously, you see the Tartan Army Exodus, all the pictures and photos from the airport, all the guys are over there working now. I can't wait for Friday. I think it's going to be such a massive occasion for the country, for the team, for everyone, and I'm confident as well.
Now, we've been asked for our predictions for the big game for Sunsport Online. You need to wait till tomorrow to find out my prediction. But David, will there be some people not going for a German win? Yeah,
I think there will be, including me. I'm not saying Scotland are going to win the game, but I think we can get a result. I don't think this Germany team are all that people are cracking them up to be. They clearly get good players: Kai Havertz, Florian Wirtz, Gundogan, Tony Kroos. Listen, you can rhyme off so many of them. However, they haven't played a competitive game for a long time. I think Julian Nagelsmann has got a real problem with the goalkeeping position. He's going for Manuel Neuer. I think Ter Stegen's a better option. I think he's going for a bit of sentiment with Neuer, 38-year-old, 120 caps now, or such and such. I think he's a weak link now. I think he's past his best. I think Germany can be got at. I think Scotland just have to go out there with belief that we can get a result.
Is this the difference? Nagelsmann has gone with the older goalkeeper, maybe in sentiment, maybe in experience, whereas Steve Clarke has left Craig Gordon at home and is going with Angus Gunn, the guy he thinks is the best goalkeeper here and now.
Yeah, I think you have to do that. Look, I get that. I think Steve Clarke is and I don't mean being guilty of it, I think Steve Clarke has taken some players out of loyalty as well. I think you look at guys like Ryan Jack, Stuart Armstrong, who isn't fit. Will they play a big part in the tournament? Maybe not, but I think he wants to take them because of the part they've played in the last few years. I think though, when it comes to key positions and guys that are going to start, you just have to make a cold decision based on football. Craig Gordon, it was harsh, but I think, I just don't think he's played enough football. I think Angus Gunn is the number one. I think it would have been hard to leave Zander Clark out, given he's the number one at Hearts. And Liam Kelly, speak to anyone around the Scotland camp, he's such a popular guy, such an important figure within that squad. I think he was always going to go too. But you're right, the kind of contrast between the goalkeeping positions for both managers, both have made big calls. I think Steve Clarke's made the right one. I'm not sure Nagelsmann has.
We all think we more or less know the makeup of the Scotland team that will start the game on Friday, but given there's 3 games in 9 days, do you expect a degree, not really of rotation, but do you expect changes between matches 1, 2 and 3? Yeah,
I do. In certain positions, I would have my team in mind that I think should start the game. I think going forward, guys like, I wouldn't put Ryan Christie in the team, for example. I wouldn't start Lon Shankland either. I think they will play a big part against Switzerland and Hungary. I think they have to. It's such a condensed period of time with the games and with the squad. And guys are also picking up injuries and carrying injuries. You look at McTominay, you look at Callum McGregor, guys that might not be able to play 90 minutes, within, every 3 days. So I think Steve Clarke has to look at the bigger picture. But on Friday night against Germany, he has to go with his strongest team.
And then arguably the biggest games for us will be the Swiss and Hungarian games. Give us a better chances of picking up points and perhaps getting through beyond the group stage for the first time in our history. Can you see some of the French players? James Forrest just back into the squad. Tommy Conway and Lewis Morgan really in late from nowhere. Likewise Ross McCrory. Will they be involved at all?
Yeah, of course they will. I think Tony Ralston probably will start at right wing back. I just think he's got more experience of being around Steve Clarke's squad. I think he's played in big games for Celtic. He's maybe also defensively a little bit stronger and a bit sturdier, if you want to use that word, than Ross McCrory is right now. But I think going forward, Ross McCrory can play a part. And I think as well, you look at modern football now, Roger, you look at the front 3 in teams, they very rarely play 90 minutes. Most guys come off 60, 65 minutes. So your Lewis Morgan, Tommy Conway, James Forrest are going to play a huge part in this tournament for me.
We had a bookie basher, Jim Delahunt, on the show yesterday on our podcast. He's tipping England to win it. David, will it be so?
No. France.
France to win it?
France will win it. I don't see anybody stopping France. I just feel they were very, very unlucky in the last World Cup. I think they have improved again. I think in Kylian Mbappe, they've probably got one of the best players, if not the best player in the world right now. I think France will go far. I think Portugal will go far. England, middle to front, are very, very good. I just don't see the goalkeeper and defence being good enough to win this tournament.
Just a quick warning: A, gamble responsibly, and B, David did tip St Johnstone to get out and guaranteed it. And we can now head over to Germany to our football editor, Derek McGregor. He is at the German training centre just outside Erlangen. It looks a beautiful morning, Derek. Is everything getting geared up for the big game?
Absolutely, Roger. It's a fabulous day here. The German squad will be training within the next half an hour. Obviously, one of their final training sessions before the big one against Scotland.
I noticed on all the social media channels yesterday after the German press conference, Tony Kroos managed to elbow his way in and have his photograph taken with you. Do you get the feeling that Kris and the players you're speaking to today, are they getting in the mindset for what's a huge game for them as well as us, Derek?
My good personal friend, Tony Kroos, Roger. Yeah, I think what was quite striking about Tony, or what Tony Kroos was saying yesterday, was the level of respect I think that he has for Scotland, and I think he was also making it clear, I think, that the rest of the German team, they're far from taking Scotland for granted. I think there's a feeling that this will be a tough game for them. And I think obviously Tony Kroos alluded to the fact that he'd been speaking to some of his Real Madrid Spanish international teammates, and they were very well able to inform him that Scotland, if they hit form, are a good side.
Some of the German media published yesterday what they say is the Germany team to take us on Friday night. And there is a place for Manuel Neuer. Has that caused any ripples of controversy over in Germany? Very
much so. I think there's a lot of people who like and support Marc-Andre ter Stegen of Barcelona. I think, look, clearly Manuel Neuer has been a fantastic goalkeeper for long enough, but I think there's a concern beginning to form here that maybe it's just, Neuer is at that stage now where he should move aside. Julian Nagelsmann, 100% unstinting support for Neuer.
You're in one of those lovely German regions. It's famed for its sauerkraut. It's famed for its bratwurst sausage, Derek. So tell us, how was last night's curry?
Yes, when in Nuremberg, have an Indian tandoori. No, it was, look, it's been an absolute pleasure being here, Roger. The weather's fantastic. It's a fantastic country to be at, particularly for a football tournament. And you certainly, you feel privileged to be here.
And I've already Googled the restaurant. I've checked the price list, so just watch those expenses claims when you come back. Wonderful list, Derek. Thank you very much. I'll let you go and watch German training. We will speak to you before the big game in Munich.
All the best, Roger.
I'm happy to say that I'm joined by Bild chief reporter Heiko Niederer, and I thought it would be nice to get a German media perspective on die Mannschaft and the feeling about not only the opening game of Euro 2024 against Scotland, but also how Heiko feels about the national team for the tournament. Are you feeling confident for your nation?
We are pretty confident, actually. It's been going quite well the last games, but still there are some doubts. You have to say, the test games could have been better, actually. So the last two tests were a bit lame, we have to say. But actually, we're pretty confident for the tournament. We have a good team.
Are you surprised that Julian Nagelsmann has stayed loyal to Manuel Neuer?
No. Because we all know what he did in the past. He's a great goalkeeper. We all think he's the best of all times. So we were quite surprised to see that he did some mistakes in the last games, also at Bayern. But we're quite confident it won't happen at the tournament, actually.
Is there a feeling that Neuer has earned loyalty? He deserves the loyalty?
He does. But of course, it's all about the game. If he's not good enough, we have a very, very good number two with Marc-Andre ter Stegen. But at the moment, I think he's still the best Manuel Neuer. So, yeah.
And how do you feel about the striker position, Kai Havertz instead of Niklas Füllkrug?
Well, my personal opinion is that we were always best when we have a real number 9 striker, which would be Niklas Füllkrug, actually, because especially in the group games, Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland will all be teams that are rather defensively. So I think we would play better with a real number 9. But Kai Havertz, of course, has other qualities. He's a very technical player, very good with passing and stuff. So he has his abilities as well. I think Füllkrug will come in as a substitute and maybe score his goals then.
He's not a bad substitute.
He's good, yeah, he's good.
The thing that I have noticed, Heiko, is that there is a genuine respect for Scotland. This isn't fake respect. Speaking to Tony Kroos yesterday, listening to what he was saying, they seem to have a genuine appreciation of Scotland.
Definitely. I think we all know and agree that it's not Scotland of like 10 or 20 years ago, like very British. I think it's still a very physical team, but we all know they have good footballers, most of them Premier League players. So great respect. We know it's going to be a tough game actually.
I'll put you on the spot. First of all, a prediction for Friday night, scoreline prediction.
I think it's not going to be 5-0. It's going to be a close game.
Well, for Scotland,
maybe 5-0 for Scotland. Yeah. No, I think it's going to be a tight game, but I hope and I think we will win maybe 2-1.
And possibly the biggest question for you: do you see Germany winning the Euros?
Well, I'm not as confident as I was maybe 10 years ago about Germany in the tournament, because we were always had the feeling at least semi-final, but that has gone away in the last tournaments where we went out in the group stages. So we're not as confident as we have been in the past, but still I think we can win it, but we need some luck as well, I think.
Appreciate your time, Michael. Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Well, we can now head back to Germany to join the voice of Sun's boat, Bill Leckie. And astonishingly, Bill, for the first time since you've been in Garmin-Partenkirchen, it's not raining.
Oh, honestly, we woke up this morning and I thought, has somebody moved the hotel during the night to a different place? The sun is not splitting the skies, but it's dry and it's warm and we've got shorts on, which is very good. And can also tell you, Roger, after yesterday we chatted, I've made an astonishing discovery. You loved my Rod Hull furry chair.
Yes.
I have now discovered what the Rod Hull furry chair actually is.
Uh-huh.
It is a cable car seat.
Oh, I was panicking for a minute there. That's probably the best result we could have had.
Absolutely. It's off the old, just up the road there, the Zugspitze at the highest point in Germany, and this is off the old cable car they used to have there.
The obvious question is it going to be an uphill struggle for Scotland on Friday?
Oh, you've done this before. Yes, but that's the way we are. You know, when did Scotland ever like it when things were nice and comfortable and easy? We think back to your Costa Rica and your Peru and your Iran when we thought we were just cigars on. And yet, when we've faced challenges, you know, I mean, our best performances of the qualifiers, without doubt, Spain at home, Norway away, as tough as it was going to get in that early stage, and we rose to the occasion. And then when we came to playing friendlies, we couldn't hit a cow's behind with a banjo. So I like the fact that we're against it.
Steve Clarke spoke yesterday, Bill, that he was never fooled by the people who said Germany weren't as good as they used to be. How good are they? What test are we going to face on Friday?
We're going to face a Germany team that's not as clinical and efficient as it used to be, as we're used to seeing over the years with Germany. But the makeup of the German team's changed dramatically. You know, it used to be built on efficiency and strength, and one or two players who would make a difference. You know, when I was a wee boy, it was a team that plowed through, and then Gerd Müller would score goals. And then as years went on, you had Rummenigge that would make a difference between an ordinary team and a brilliant team. Now they've got explosive players everywhere, but they also have faults. They have games where they lose, plenty of goals. So they're an unpredictable team for probably the first time in history. But when you can call on guys like Tony Kroos and Rudiger and Leroy Sané and these, I mean, these are players, and we have to. Callum McGregor said the other day, this is the kind of game where you can't be almost on it. You need to be perfect. Everything. And unfortunately, it's a game where we need to be 10 out of 10 right across the park, and they can probably afford to be 8 out of 10 across the park, and it still becomes a level playing field.
And in the German version of Go Ballistic today, while we are talking about those players you've mentioned, Which Scotland players are they talking about? Your St Mirren background, does it have to be John McGinn?
Oh, obviously it has to be John McGinn, Kenny McLean, Lawrence Shankland, who had a loan spell with us.
Lewis Morgan?
Lewis Morgan, and of course the manager. The manager who was came through the ranks at St Mirren. So that's obviously what they're talking about this morning. No, they'll be with the best will in the world. This will be the equivalent of us playing against an Austria or somewhere. We've heard of two players and we talk about them all the time because we don't know the rest of them. And I think they'll say Andy Robertson, Scott McTominay, maybe John McGinn.
Bill, I shall let you go. I know you've got a busy day ahead of you, sunbathing now that the rain's finally stopped in Garmisch Park and Kirchen. Have a great day. We will speak to you before the big game on Friday night. Good luck.
I would very much love that. See you later, pal.
Take care. Thanks again for watching. We will be back tomorrow with Sunsport columnist Kris Boyd, with Robert Grieve, our chief football writer in Germany, on the eve of the Euro 2024 opener against Germany in Munich. Keep watching, keep listening, keep enjoying Go Ballistic.